Hello and welcome. So this is going to be a lore reading. We're going to see what we have learned basically by running around the city at night and killing various criminal elements. Alright. Abomination. Let's see, is there... Not sure what the... We arrived in the dead of night. We've been tracking the Maleficar for days. And finally we had him cornered, or so we thought, as we approached a home on the edge of town exploded, sending splinters of wood and fist-sized chunks of rock into our ranks. We had but moments to regroup before fire rained from the sky, and the sounds of destruction wrapped in the hideous laughter from the center of the village. There, perched atop the spire of the village chantry, stood the mage, but he was human no longer. We shouted prayers to the Maker and deflected what magic we could, but as we fought, the creature fought harder. I saw my comrades fall, burned by the flaming sky or crushed by debris. The monstrous creature, looking as if a demon were wearing a man like a twisted suit of skin, spotted me and grinned. We had forced it to this. I realized the mage had made this pact, given himself over to the demon to survive our assault. Transcribed from a tale told by a former Templar in Cumberland, 884 Blessed. It's known that mages are able to walk the Fade while completely aware of their surroundings, unlike most others who may only enter the realms as dreamers and leave it scarcely aware of their experience. Demons are drawn to mages, though whether it is because of this awareness or simply by virtue of their magical power in our world remains unknown. Regardless of the reason, a demon always attempts to possess a mage when it encounters one, by force or by making some kind of deal, depending on the strength of the mage. Should the demon get the upper hand, the result is an unholy union known as abomination. Abominations have been responsible for some of the worst cataclysms in history. The notion that some mages in a remote tower could turn into such a creature unbeknownst to any he was the driving force behind the creation of the Circle of Magi. Not from what I understand. From what I understand, it was to train mages to fight the Blight. But, I mean, sure, that makes sense. Thankfully, abominations are rare. The Circle has methods for weeding out those who are too at risk for demonic possession, and scant few mages would give up their free will to submit to such a bond with a demon. But once an abomination is created, it will do its best to create more, considering that entire squads of Templars have been known to fall at the hands of a single abomination. It is not surprising that the Chantry takes the business of the Circle of Magi very serious indeed. Encountered in the Fade, the true form of the Rage Demon is a frightening sight, a thing of pure fire, its body seemingly made of amorphous lava and its eyes two pinpricks of baleful light radiating from its core. The abilities of such a demon center on the fire it generates. It burns those who come near. The most powerful of its kind are able to lash out with bolts of fire and even firestorms that can affect entire areas. Fortunately, even powerful rage teams are less intelligent than most other varieties. Their tactics are simple: attack an enemy on sight with as much force as possible until it perishes. Some rage demons carry over their heat-based abilities into possessed hosts, but otherwise the true form is mostly seen outside of the Fade, when it's specifically summoned by a mage to do his bidding. Nothing. Nothing. Slavery in Third Imperium. Slavery still thrives in Thedas, even if the trade has been outlawed. I mean, kind of like some places on this world. Who hasn't heard tales of poverty-stricken elves lured into ships by the prospect of well-paying jobs in Antiva only to find themselves clapped in leg irons once at sea? And humans fall prey to this too. If they're lucky, they end up in Orlais, which only has servants. Most nobles treat them decently because they are afraid of admitting the truth. Orlesians go to great lengths to maintain the fiction that slavery is illegal. So, human trafficking exists. It's here too, which... I mean, I don't actually know what the history of human trafficking is. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen then, but I'm guessing not at the scale it does now. But I don't know. Not that familiar with the criminal aspects of the Middle Ages. Of course, the greatest consumer of slave labor is the Tevinter Imperium, which would surely crumble if not for the endless supply of slaves come from all over the continent. There they are meat chattel, they are beaten, used as fodder in the endless war against the Qunari, and even serve as components in dark magic rituals from the Black City, the Black Divine, a study of the Tevinter Imperium by Citra Petrine, a Chantry scholar. I wonder if she's actually been there. Lore characters. Fenris. Even those who live without chains are still bound by fear, by tradition, by honor. Slaves dream of freedom, but I have found free men dream of it even more. Fenris's slave, a bodyguard to Magister Denarius of the Tevinter Imperium until his escape several years ago. He speaks little of his past, saying only that he most recently came to Kirkwall from Tantervale in the north. The markings on his skin are akin to rune crafting, made of lyrium and ink. They suffuse Fenris's flesh with a power that even he does not fully understand. The process of their creation was painful, and in unguarded moments Fenris attempts to control the agony that lingers still. Even so, the markings enhance his fighting skills and have made him a unique and formidable warrior. Yeah, that is... As much as it may seem weird to arm slaves, it was a thing in the past. I think the Janissaries of that was the Ottoman Empire and the Mamelukes of Egypt were actually slave armies. So having a bodyguard trained to protect you whom you own also makes sense. Isabella. I'm Isabella, previously Captain Isabella. Sadly, without my ship, the title rings a bit hollow. Isabella is vague about her days as sea captain, though it's obvious she was involved in piracy and smuggling. Shortly after the Blight ended, Isabella's ship was caught in a storm near the Wounded Coast. The vessel was damaged, and Isabella feels lucky to have escaped. The vessel was destroyed. Now she's stranded in the free marches, spending most of her time in the Hanged Man Tavern. Isabella also reveals that she was born in Rivain, but spent many years in Antiva. When asked about those years, she changes the subject. Letters and notes. Captain Rayner's accounts. Sold. 2 barrels of fish, Viscount's Cape. 3 barrels of rum, Hanged Man. 1 human mage, Danzig Undercity. 25 Rivaini furs, Helton's clothiers. Father, I know the sacrifices you made to conceal my secret, but I am a child no longer. I cannot burden you my whole life, lest my secret destroy us both. I must live on my own as a woman, and as a mage. It is oddly freeing to write the word. Farewell, Father. I hope one day to make peace between what you have been taught and what you have seen. All my love, Olivia. Art of War... Yep. And that's it for this one. Thank you for watching, do any relevant things with YouTube's buttons, and have a nice day.